Welcome. My name is Beth Ann Virginia, and I am the CDC Learn the Signs Act Early Ambassador. And today I'm here to talk to you about the overview of the 2022 revision and updates for the CDC Learn the Signs Act Early developmental milestones. Since 2005, the Learn the Signs Act Early program has provided free resources for families, healthcare providers, and early childhood professionals like early childhood educators, early Head Start, WIC providers, and home visitors to be able to support early identification of children with developmental delays and disabilities. Everyone's asking, why are they revising the milestones? The CDC incorporated feedback from the last 15 years of the milestones being used. They added a 15 and 30-month checklist. They eliminated duplication of milestones across the checklist, removing vague language such as may or begins, and incorporating warning signs within the milestones and eliminating a separate list of warning signs, which were mainly milestones from earlier ages that were listed separately with an Act Early message, encouraging families to discuss the concerns with their doctors. The revision process was a joint effort with the American Academy of Pediatrics and the CDC Learn the Signs Act Early program. The criteria was decided on 11 listed on this slide here. The developmental specialists recognize that other features, not just milestones, are important in developmental surveillance tools. The experts agreed that 75% of or more of children should be expected to achieve a milestone on the developmental surveillance checklist in order to prevent unnecessary worry, prevent that wait and see approach, and support developmental screening if a child's missing milestones or if there's any other concerns. The CDC also are working to ensure the milestones were evidence-informed and ones most children would be expected to achieve by the given age. The milestones and checklists were revised to meet the additional criteria listed on the slide ahead of this one. The CDC Learn the Signs Act Early team also reviews the milestones to ensure that they were family friendly, they were to be able to be read at a 5th to 7th grade reading level, cognitive testing with English and Spanish speaking parents, mothers and fathers from different racial groups, education levels, and income levels. Here are results of the process. 26% of reduction in the total milestones. So the milestones went from 216 to 159. 25 duplicates were removed, and so the average number of milestones per checklist went from 23 to 13. 40% of the milestones had a replacement. 94 were retained and 65 were new. A third of the retained milestones were moved to a different age band, and 2/3 were moved to an older age. 80% of the final milestones had a normative data of less than one source. Social, emotional, and cognitive milestones were the most difficult to find. Open-ended questions are now provided with families. So talking to families about some of the questions they want to know. What are some things you and your child do together? What are some things you and your child likes to do? Is there any concern what your child does or doesn't do that concerns you? And has your child lost any skills that he or she once had? For example, if your child was walking at 16 months and then all of a sudden the child started crawling, going back to crawling. So that's losing a skill that they once obtained. Does your child have any special healthcare needs, or was he or she born prematurely? In the previous milestone checklist, there were red flags. So when we were asking families to act early when they saw a red flag. 77 of those old red flags are still milestones within the revised checklist, but they were placed at an age that experts felt that 75% or more of children would be expected to exhibit them. Another addition to the milestones is parents' tips and activities. The CDC provided their positive parenting tips as a foundation to these development page as part of the tips. The CDC communication expert and early childhood educators and pediatricians came together and reviewed resources such as the American Academy of Pediatrics, Bright Futures, Reach Out and Read, and Ages and Stages tips and activities and more to be able to add for families. In Connecticut, we're also excited that Learn the Signs Act Early is part of Sparkler. Sparkle has also a library of tips for parents to help answer questions about their child's development and parenting. And we also have the new milestones from the Learn the Signs Act Early in the content of the mobile app. If you're looking for more information about this revision process, it could be found at the American Academy of Pediatrics website, Evidence-Informed Milestones for the Developmental Surveillance Tools. From here in Connecticut for our Act Early program and Yukon Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities, we thank you for joining us today.